What powers do you believe the president should not have?
Well, there are a couple that I followed even though they weren't law. And I want us, we're going to have to do some work to return to this basic norm, and we probably now have to codify it. The White House shouldn't be able to direct the Attorney General to go around prosecuting whoever the president wants prosecuted.
Right, because technically it's under the executive branch.
Technically,
the norm is that it's independent.
The idea is that the Attorney General is the people's lawyer. It's not the president's consigliere.
Josh.
I think he puts his finger right on it up close when you see what the Department of Justice has done to weaponize the rule of law against political opponents of President Trump. It's reminiscent of any sort of authoritarian regime where you see a leader going after his political opponents. We've never seen the Department of Justice used to this extent as a political or police, basically watchdog for the president.
Right. And I believe they always accused the weaponization of the government. They accused Obama of weaponization. They accused Joe Biden of weaponization. And I just want to say, I wish Biden would have weaponized the DOJ. I wish they would have done their fucking job and said, go get these fascists that tried to overturn the election results.
And that's what all of the MAGA crowd says. Well, look at what Biden or look at what Garland did.
They didn't do jack shit.
Exactly. And let's not skip past the fact that President Trump is an actual criminal. He was convicted in a state court, not a federal court. He was convicted in a state court of 30-something counts. Didn't have anything to do with Merrick Garland, with what happened to President Trump.
Well, and speaking of those 34 felonies that he was convicted of, an attorney took 34 L's, and that guy's name is Todd Blanche. The loser who got Trump convicted of 34 felonies is now the acting attorney general of the DOJ. And he has responded to former President Obama. Play the clip.
That myself or President Trump or lawyers who work with me are being accused of some sort of political retribution. It is simply not true. It is absolutely not true. And how do I prove it's not true? Well, if you look at the recent indictment you asked me about a few minutes ago, you have local prosecutors, you have local agents. I don't even know their names. I don't know their names, who are bringing these charges. Okay, that's one way. And the next thing I'll say is it is extraordinarily hypocritical and extraordinarily rich for these critics, as you call them, to focus on what this administration is doing when almost to a person they remained dead silent for 4 years while we saw what happened during the Biden administration with President Trump. I mean.
Okay. He's referencing, Josh, this indictment of James Comey for doing at seashells that say 8647. And he's saying that Trump didn't direct him to pursue the investigation because he doesn't know the particular agent's names. This is just, he's sitting there talking about something being rich, and this is just more than I can take.
Let me give you a little bit of context as a criminal defense lawyer. Anytime you hear a criminal defense lawyer use words like Todd Blanche just used, simply false, just not true. When they give this quote about their client, then that means that they're 100% guilty. Those are the kind of things that you say when you have nothing else to say. You say, and I quote him here, that is simply not true. That is just not true. That's simply false. He said all of those things in that clip. You say those things from where I'm sitting when your client is guilty as fuck.
Americans need to understand what just happened because Obama just went directly at Trump on national television, and Washington is absolutely exploding over it. Before I continue, touch the plus sign on our profile picture and tell me in the comments, did Obama just expose something bigger happening in American politics? Yes or no? Here's what stunned viewers across the United States. After months of silence, former President Barack Obama finally addressed the controversial AI-generated post Donald Trump shared online earlier this year, the same post that triggered outrage across social media during Black History Month. And instead of getting angry, Obama stayed calm. But then he flipped the entire conversation directly back onto Trump. Obama said he doesn't take the attacks personally. But what came next is what has Washington talking tonight. He warned that American politics is turning into what he described as a clown show, where outrage, humiliation, and viral shock tactics are replacing leadership and dignity in the United States. Then came the line that hit social media like a bomb. Obama accused Trump and parts of the online political machine of treating war, chaos, and national division like some kind of video game designed only to farm clicks and attention. And suddenly, the entire interview exploded online. Supporters of Obama are saying he finally said out loud what millions of Americans have been thinking for months. But Trump supporters are firing back hard, accusing Obama of hypocrisy and claiming the former president is trying to distract from bigger issues facing the country. Meanwhile, clips from the interview are spreading everywhere across TikTok, X, YouTube, and cable news.
When you're negotiating with Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all. That's the only thing that